At Northwestern Mutual Southern Wisconsin, they believe better conversations lead to better outcomes. They focus on a holistic financial planning process that starts with where you are right now. They design solutions that fit your specific goals and priorities and that can evolve over time. Wherever you are today, no matter what's next, they'll develop customized recommendations designed to fit your life. Visit their website or call them today. Northwestern Mutual Southern Wisconsin, a better way to money. Did you know May is Mental Health Awareness Month? It's a time to prioritize your well-being and meaningful self-care. Graley Wellness is a modern mental health and wellness center right here in Madison. So whether you're managing stress, seeking relief from burnout, or just looking for a space to recharge, Graley Wellness is here to support your journey. This Mental Health Awareness Month, invest in yourself. Book a session today at GraleyWellness.com. It's time to take care of you. Today on CityCast Madison. Welcome to the Friday News Roundup. The Madison Public Library celebrates 150 years, Metro is experiencing highs in ridership and lows in morale, and an arrest has been made following the shooting at Abundant Life Christian School. It's Friday, May 16th. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Kicking us off this week is the update from the library with Digital Services and Marketing Manager Liz Boyd. Liz Boyd, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
It's a very exciting moment to have you here because it's celebration time. So the Madison Public Library is throwing a huge birthday party because guess what? You only turn 150 once.
This is very true. We're right in the midst of the 150th anniversary.
Yes, and you've been at the helm planning so much. Tell us, what do you have planned for this great birthday?
Yeah, so we've been doing parties in all 9 library locations. So we had our first 4 parties this past weekend on May 10th. We have a big party coming up on Saturday, May 17th at Central Library. This will be sort of our biggest shindig. And then we have 4 more happening on May 31st. So yeah, lots planned.
Yeah, so this Saturday, folks, the big party. Hey, I mean, one of the best parties I've ever attended, and I'm not being hyperbolic, was at the Madison Central Library. The Bookless event, which was like the pre-tear down of the building for the huge renovations that happened. It was lit, okay? Literary. So I know y'all can throw a party. Can you tell us, like, what are some of the things that'll be at the party at the Central Library this Saturday?
Yeah. So as you said, we have to take a little inspiration from our historic epic parties that we've thrown in the past. And one of the things that I'm really excited about is an idea that I got from our 100-year anniversary celebration. So the planners for that party really wanted to subvert the idea or the stereotype that you had to be quiet in the library. That party took place in 1975. And so they decided to have a marching band come and do a little parade to the library, and we are recreating that. So we've asked Forward Marching Band to come and start us off at the Forum at the top of State Street at 9:45 a.m. And the mayor is going to be there to lead the parade. Our library director is going to be there. We're going to have banners. We're going to have little batons for people to wave. And we're just going to do a little short parade from the Capitol Square to the library with the marching band. So we're really excited about that.
That's like legit proper. Like, I'm going to get a brass band. Like, I'm going to get a band in here. We're going to have tubas and you're going to hear us celebrate this mark.
76 trombones, you know?
Yes.
Okay, I can't promise 76 trombones, but it is going to be a band. We're really excited about it. We really wanted to start it off with a bang. So
yeah,
that's the first thing. But we also are having a really cool art exhibition that the Bubbler has set up. And I'm excited for that too, because it is very community based. A lot of what we do is community based, but this is going to be pulling from an artist residency that took place at Penny Library last fall. So Phil Hassett was the artist in residence at that time. And he asked a question that was sort of a prompt to the community. What is a word for now? And we had a lot of responses to that. People were then letterpress printing their responses. And so now we're doing this big art show displaying those prints in all of our library locations. But at Central, we're doing something even a little bit more special because later this year, we're going to have an art show called 150 Artists for 150 Years, where we're bringing in 150 bubbler artists who have like worked with the bubbler over the last 12 years of their existence through like residencies or workshops or programs. And they're going to get matched up with a word that was added to the dictionary. So like each year, a new words are added to the dictionary.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So from like 1875 to 2025, we're going to choose words, and that's going to be the prompt for the artist to create a new piece of art. And they're all going to be on the wall at Central on Saturday. So this is the first time that the artists are going to get to see their words and get that like spark of inspiration.
Is it like words like a tweet or something, like something that came into existence? Okay. This is
So
really...
some are going to be really modern. Some are going to be really old timey. It's going to be a huge
my word's
sprawl.
beset.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, I love that there's parties at every library going on for this.
I have to plug the celebrations on the 31st, which is that Penny is also celebrating their 5 years at their current location. And when they first opened, their grand opening basically got canceled because it was pandemic week. So
no, yeah. So we
so
have
come
to
out
come
and
through.
Support Penny's especially.
Penny deserves it. Okay, heard and very good shout out. And I know that you've been doing deep research on these past 150 years. You talked about the marching band came from the past. Are there any like spicy factoids that you stumbled on? Any fun or surprising facts about our library system's history?
Oh my gosh, spicy. I don't know about spicy, but there are definitely little fun facts. There's this little statue called Wildflower that was at the Carnegie Library, which was built in 1906 and was kind of the forerunner to Central Library. So this is like a little bronze statue, and it sat in a garden, and people loved this statue. Like before the library moved, because Central Library as we know it now was built in 1965. And there was like a lot of concern about what was going to happen to Wildflower. People were deeply like, where will Wildflower
That's
go?
Our girl.
Yeah,
right.
Truly. So
don't hurt our girl.
Somebody donated money so that Wildflower could get moved to the new location. There was like a fountain built on the second floor of Central Library so that Wildflower had a nice new location. But there are stories about like forecasts of, freezing and stuff, and people putting little coats and like t-shirts on Wildflower. Like there's just this whole legacy of love for this little statue. a true icon of Madison Public Library.
Wildflower.
Yeah, so we still have Wildflower, and they're in like the lower level children's area. So there can be selfies with Wildflower this Saturday.
Okay.
At the Book Arch.
You get yourself to the Book Arch and you get yourself a photo with Wildflower. That's really fun. Okay, well, I just wanted to share kind of a straightforward fact. So the Madison Public Library opened with just 2 rooms and 5,000 books on May 31st, 1875. 1875. Yep. Man, it's a really big milestone, and it's just nice to know that you guys are going strong, and after 150 years, do you have any thoughts like what do you want to see in the next 150? Like sky's the limit?
As if we didn't have enough going on this month, we also just broke ground on the Imagination Center at Rindell Park. So that's one thing that we know is going to happen in the next 150 years because that library is going to open before next fall. So,
huge.
Next summer, 2026, we'll all be hanging out at a library in a park, which is pretty cool.
Yes, a critical resource for the area.
Yeah, for the Northeast side, which is really, really important. So I think really just continuing to respond to community need. I feel like that's something that I've really seen in the research that I've gotten to do, and the history is just like, Madison Public Library shows up for the people, like we really help fill in those gaps. Like we've been here for 2 world wars and all of these like times of turmoil, pandemics, multiple. So, I think continuing to just show up for what the community needs.
Liz, long live the library.
I'm with you there.
Yes. Thank you for coming on and for telling us about the celebrations this Saturday and in general for the 150 years. It's really exciting. And we can't thank y'all enough for your work.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Liz Boyd of Madison Public Library. Before we dive into any more news, let's take a quick break.
Hi, I'm David Plotz, the CEO of CityCast. We've all set health goals: lose weight, exercise more, eat better. But without a plan, those goals often fade. That may have happened to you. It has definitely happened to me. And that's where Prolon comes in. Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet gives you a science-backed, structured approach to stay on track and see real results. And now Prolon is upping their game with the new next-gen 5-day program, delivering the same science-backed benefits in a cleaner, more convenient, and more flavorful format. Prolon is a plant-based nutrition program featuring soups, snacks, and beverages designed to nourish the body while keeping it in a fasting state, triggering cellular rejuvenation and renewal. Next Gen builds on the original Prolon with 100% organic soups and teas, a richer taste, and ready-to-eat meals. Developed over decades at USC's Longevity Institute and backed by top U.S. medical centers, Prolon has been shown to support biological age reduction, metabolic health, skin appearance, fat loss, and energy. I've been doing the 5-day program, and I feel so much better. I really enjoy the tasty energy bars, the snacks and soups, and the fact that I can enjoy meals, even though the calorie count is super low. The flavors and textures are excellent. An olive oil snack here, broccoli and quinoa soup there, hibiscus tea, a yummy nut bar. It's got the benefits of a 5-day fast, but doesn't have the challenge of doing it with pure liquids. It's a system reset. And also, I know this sounds funny, but it's not. The packaging and directions are fantastic, clear, and well organized and thoughtful. For a limited time, you can be first in line to experience the new Next Gen at special savings. Prolon is offering CityCast listeners 15% off site-wide, plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day program. Just visit prolonlife.com/city. That's PROLONLIFE.com/city to claim your 15% discount and your bonus gift. prolonlife.com/city. This episode of CityCast is sponsored by Babbel. Learning a new language opens the door to new friends, new cultures, maybe even a whole new life. So why not start the journey today with Babbel? You can start speaking a new language with confidence thanks to Babbel's conversation-based technique. It quickly teaches you useful words and phrases about the things you actually talk about in the real world. There are more than a dozen languages available for you to learn at your own pace, with material tailored to your individual proficiency level, interests, and time availability. I'm David Plotz, CEO of CityCast, and I've been learning Spanish with Babbel and brushing up a teeny bit on my French. But there's also Turkish, Swedish, Dutch, German, many more languages. Babbel's tips and tools for learning a new language are approachable and accessible. It's like having a private tutor in your pocket. I particularly love Babbel's guided conversations, which let me practice real-world conversations. What to say at the doctor's office, how to leave a party, using speech recognition to make sure I'm getting the pronunciation right. Babbel's mobile app and website have real-time feedback, progress trackers, and clear visualizations that are helping me improve my Spanish in only 10 minutes a day. So get talking with Babbel. I want you to learn another language, so I'm teaming up with Babbel to gift you 55% off subscriptions, but only for CityCast listeners at babbel.com/citycast. Get up to 55% off at babbel.com/citycast. Spelled BABBEL.com/citycast. Babbel.com/citycast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
All right, we're back, and I'm going to bring in our teammates to continue the roundup. Joining me today is executive producer Haley Sperling. Hey, Haley.
Hi, Bianca.
And we've got our newsletter editor, Rob Thomas. Hey, Rob.
Hey, Bianca.
Rob, you've got some weighty news to share.
Yeah, I sure do. There was a big new development last week in the investigation into the Abundant Life school shooting last December, in which one student and one teacher were killed. 6 others were injured, and the 15-year-old shooter took her own life. Madison police arrested the shooter's father, Jeffrey Ruppnow, 42, on felony charges of contributing to the delinquency of a child and 2 counts of providing a dangerous weapon to a person under 18, resulting in death. Madison Acting Police Chief John Patterson said the 2 guns used in the shooting were purchased legally by the shooter's father. Police discovered a written manifesto by the shooter that illustrated deep interest in shootings, and they discovered more guns in the house, including one intended as a gift for the teenage shooter. Rupnow told police that his daughter had become interested in guns after they went out shooting on a friend's land 2 years ago, but he was quite shocked at how her interest snowballed. And there was a gun safe in the house, but the shooter knew the combination. And you guys might know that this is not the first time nationwide that in the aftermath of a school shooting, the parents are held accountable for the crime. Last year, the parents of a Michigan shooter were convicted of involuntary manslaughter and sentenced to 10 to 15 years in prison. Rupnow was arrested on Thursday, and our friend Cap Times state government reporter Aaron McGroarty noted the irony that he was arrested on the same day that Wisconsin Republicans in the legislature stripped all funding for gun safety provisions and for the creation of an anti-violence office from the proposed state budget. Evers launched the Office of Violence Prevention in January, just weeks after the Abundant Life shooting. And the silver lining is it does have enough leftover federal funds to last for 2 years. But after that, it's going to need state support to keep going. And Republicans also stripped out from the budget measures including universal background checks, a 48-hour waiting period, and what's known as a red flag law that would make it easier for police to remove guns from someone deemed to be a threat to themselves or others. In total, Republicans stripped about 600 items from the budget, and they said it really was about the merits of these gun safety provisions, but they fell under the category of policy and should be handled through introducing legislation. Evers said that Republican lawmakers are now, quote, on record voting against efforts to help keep our kids and families safe. So it's unclear whether these provisions would have prevented the shooting, given that the guns were purchased legally. But it's pretty dispiriting, quite frankly, to read through the court records. It's very detailed on what happened in the time leading up to the shooting, as well as the shooting itself. And you see so many spots where if somebody had done something differently, this might have all been avoided. And you see that, and you contrast that with the lack of action, at least from some of our leaders at the state and federal level. So not a fun story, but it's something we've been following since December and staying on top of, and I don't know what else to say, really.
Yeah, it's there isn't a resolution here, right? Because even with an arrest, the harm that has been done to the Abundant Life community, to the Madison community, is going to be felt forever, right? And this is a story, like you said, Rob, where had someone acted slightly differently, had we taken maybe a few more steps of precaution, then maybe things could have gone differently. Though it doesn't really help to dwell on the past, I think that this really is just a case for we need more mental health professionals
for sure
helping our youth. I mean, I think back to the conversation that we had earlier this week with Myra Renee talking about the importance of destigmatizing mental health and mental illness specifically. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, but we have to draw that distinction between it's not just setting aside time to be well and take a bath, whatever, because that is important. Right. But it is also really important to talk to kids about, what kind of feelings that they're having. And I know that the shooter, she had a lot of incidents of self-harm. And as someone who's also dealt with that, it's just so important to talk about these issues. Right. And to understand those underlying feelings. And it's a hard story, no matter how you spin it.
It's so true. And I mean, what you're talking about, Haley, is prevention,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so, the thing that strikes me, and I'm sure y'all as well, is the office that the governor put forward was for violence prevention in the wake of this horrible shooting that did shake our community. And I remember us reporting on that back in January, and Haley, you saying what's so frustrating is I we're talking about, will this office be successful? And in the onset of it becoming created, we already know that the Republican leadership does not support it, says they will not fund it. So it is ensuring its failure. And everyone is out here like, we want something to be done. And I did see a quote from, legislator Robin Voss, leader of the assembly, who said that he feels that our gun laws are adequate. But what is going to be done?
Right.
Like, what solution can we find? And people want solutions.
And Voss would say, and Republicans will give more money to police. Police did a incredible job that day, but they only come after the shooting starts, right? And and the Office of Violence Prevention is intended to be there in the days and months before that happens. So it's very frustrating.
Right. And scary, because in the lack of there being legislation or something in terms of the prevention, look, parents are being held accountable. Mm-hmm. So someone is going to be held accountable for this because it involved murder. And just like our healthcare system, can we please focus on prevention and not deal with the aftermath?
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that Erin pointed out the irony in her article for the Cap Times, because you can't look at this story and then look at what the Republicans did and not just want to cringe. But guaranteed we'll get some thoughts and prayers, right, when the next one happens, because it's not if, it is when. And I hate saying that, but that is the world that we live in right now.
Yeah. Well, we're looking for actions and solutions. We'll be continuing to pay attention to that. We are going to turn to the highs and lows of Madison Metro, because that's something that people are talking about. But before we do that, let's take a quick break.
How does PwC take your company to the leading edge? They bring the sharpest minds in tech to your team, so you can bring the ideas that will transform your business. They're passionate about your industry, so you can walk into any room with every advantage. And they're with you every step of the way, so you can know you're headed in the right direction. PwC builds for what's next, so you can get there now. Get started at pwc.com/us/leading edge.
This episode is brought to you by Cadillac. When you have 4 new tires, every drive feels fresh. Right now, buy 3 select tires and get 1 for just $1 during the Cadillac Certified Service Fresh Start Tire event. Visit Cadillac.com/service offers or see dealer for full details. At participating U.S. GM dealers only. Highest or equal value tire will be $1. Offer ends 5/31/2025. Not available with other offers.
Okay, we're talking Metro. We know you transpo nerds are out there, and we know you regular Madison residents who aren't transpo nerds care about this as well. BRT, big topic, bus rapid transit. The city of Madison announced that ridership for the month of April hit a nearly 10-year high for the month of April, and that the month saw the highest ridership since 2019. So the highest overall ridership in 6 years. Apparently more than 1.3 million rides were taken last month. Good on you, riders. So it's being celebrated as a powerful return for public transit. Obviously a great public good. So that's huge for our green goals, for, the investments we've made in Metro to see them paying off. Lots to celebrate there. And, we've more than surpassed pre-COVID ridership levels, because obviously we saw people moving away from being in these public spaces that are enclosed. This is a quote from the mayor. Quote, "The success of Metro Transit benefits the entire city and our region by helping to relieve streets of congestion, curb emissions, and by providing an affordable choice to students, commuters, visitors, and many more just wanting to quickly move around Madison." So yeah, great news there.
We love it. We are so back, boys. Let's go.
It's nice to get back.
It's nice to get back. I've been taking the bus more. I don't know about you guys, especially when the weather is nice. Took the bus to the night market the other day. A very Madison of me, I thought.
That is incredibly Madison. And it's nice. I mean, I know that the team, we all went over when the bus rapid transit opened, and they had a big celebration, and we rode the bus. And it felt like, wow, it's nice to have nice things.
It is nice. And the buses, they are nice things. And the stations, they are nice things. I remember we were talking about this earlier when the stations were first being built. We're like, wow, Madison's kind of a city.
Who is she? Yeah.
And I can't help but remember some people at the time saying, well, nobody's going to ride this. And, people love their cars too much. So
people love to hate.
People love to hate, and people love to hate new things, but not us.
I'm all about it. I'm all about embracing the change. But, with the high highs, there have also been some low lows for Madison Metro. Another bus driver was attacked this week. Police are investigating after a 21-year-old suspect allegedly punched a Metro driver. According to MPD, the suspect entered the bus without paying, hit a safety partition, and then became angry when confronted by the driver. And according to WKOW, this incident marks at least the 5th attack on a Metro bus driver since February. And I want to say that again because I think it's truly unbelievable to me. This incident is at least the 5th attack on a Madison Metro bus driver since February. So we talked about Madison Metro's experiencing some very high highs these days in terms of ridership and use, which we love. It's awesome. Like I said, I've been riding that bus. I've been loving it. But there's also some extreme lows happening in the background. And, I'm really not just talking about these attacks, but of course, these attacks are extremely troubling and we absolutely need to do better. But Here's some bigger context for y'all. Drivers are still in contract negotiations with the city, and things are kind of tense. For context, drivers have been working under the terms of a contract that expired at the end of last year, 2024. And in response to this, back in February, Metro drivers made a coordinated effort to call in absent and refuse overtime work, which caused some big disruptions for riders. And both the city and the Teamsters, the union who've been negotiating, have been very guarded about what's holding up this new contract. Back in February, again, we asked the mayor for some insight on what's going on, and she was incredibly tight-lipped about the situation, citing confidentiality agreements. At the end of the day, kind of sussing it all out, it seems to be coming down to cash, right? Drivers are looking for raises, claiming that what they've received in pay increases over the past couple of years has not kept up pace with inflation, which is kind of a tale we're hearing from a lot of different workers across industries. And then on top of that, Metro General Manager Justin Sturenberg announced his resignation back in April. And according to Wisconsin State Journal reporting, Teamsters leadership claimed that he had been, quote, forced out of the job. But the city, however, is disputing that narrative. They said that Sturenberg resigned to take a consulting job in the private sector, and this was just kind of the natural course of things, and timing was just a little bit iffy. Take that as you will. The city is trying to do better by the drivers, to its credit. In response to the multiple attacks on the drivers, the city has rolled out some safety initiatives to help better ensure their safety. And that includes assembling an incident review board that's made up of drivers, supervisors, and other union representatives who are going to review these attacks. The city also wants to bring in an outside agency to assist with driver training, especially when it comes to conflict de-escalation. They also want to enforce citations for non-fair payment. And they also want to install some real physical barriers on the buses to literally protect these drivers. The new buses do have more of a physical barrier between the drivers and, passengers. But the old buses that we have, because there are still many of them running on the streets, don't have that. So the city's talking about retrofitting those buses rather to have some of those physical barriers. So I don't know about you guys, but how are we feeling about all of this? For me personally, I'm really feeling for the drivers. I don't think that anyone should have to physically put their body on the line to do their jobs. These aren't cops, they're bus drivers. They're not firefighters, they're bus drivers. They should be able to count on ensuring other people's safety. They shouldn't have to worry about their own when they are going to work every day.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be first responders.
No, they're bus drivers.
Right.
And also the irony of, having to do additional driver training and all that additional burden is happening at the same time that they can't get a contract.
And these drivers are operating without a contract. So it's a really hard time for the drivers.
Really hard time. And let's be honest, we saw one of the buses where the bus driver was attacked drive into a building.
Yes.
It could have killed people, including the bus driver, including people on the bus. So, I mean, it is a very frightening thing to have see this sort of escalation of incidents attacking public workers. Meanwhile, also, this is in the crucible of pushing a very innovative new system on these city workers. And I'm sure there are pressures and people on the road not necessarily understanding the bus lanes. There's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
And so it's understandable. Probably I do not get paid enough for this. That sort of feeling. Of course, lots of people feel that way. But considering how many people are on the buses and the safety, this is, I imagine, has to be an incredibly high priority. And I feel a little heartened to hear that there's some, thinking about physical barriers and stuff like that. But I definitely am feeling for them. And I'm thinking, it reminds me of nurses, and there are certain professions where people end up kind of experiencing violence against them, and nurses can strike, and these folks cannot.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that these bus drivers are not allowed to strike. We talk about the nurses are about to go on strike too. We didn't even get to cover that in this podcast, but people. I'm going back to the quote that you said from the mayor about how the success of Metro Transit benefits the entire city and our region, but also the failures and its struggles also have ripple effects throughout our entire city and region. And I think it's really important that we step up and protect these drivers. And like I said, I think the city is taking good steps. Is it an adequate response? I don't know. I think that depends on who you ask. It's really hard, but people need to stop hitting bus drivers. I don't know where this is coming from. We can absolutely do better than that.
Speaking about doing better, we always want to do better for y'all listening. And we know that you guys want better for the city as well, because you guys let us know. And we know this through, in part, our membership program. We have this new benefit for our members where you can actually shout out people doing good work in the community. And we've got a bunch of shout outs, right? So let's dive into some of the...
some fun things.
Some organizations. Yes, we need some fun things. Some organizations that are doing good work. Haley, you've got them in here.
Yes, I'll kick it off. Vanessa N. wanted to give a shout out to Mother Nature's Diaper Service for making reusable diapers affordable, approachable, and reliable for us. She says, give it a try. I don't have kids, but, I'm always looking for ways to be more environmentally friendly. I see how many diapers people go through. I mean, I've got cats and I've got a litter genie, and I know these they come from diaper genies, right? And so I can imagine filling that thing up, but reusable, go off, make it happen.
We use
cats are people in Madison.
Cats are people
just to be clear.
Yeah. So not to embarrass my kids, but we did use Mother Nature's diaper service for them.
Nice.
It was great. I mean, and there were a lot of diapers, but they made it as easy as possible, I think, to do that and not use the disposable ones. So.
I love it. This is not an ad, but we've got firsthand experience.
Testimonial.
Yeah, Vanessa and Rob shouting them out. We've got one from Leah Kay for shouting out Operation Fresh Start. Their work to empower young people in our community is inspiring, makes me proud to live here. From Leah Kay.
I love that. And that is so true. The Operation Fresh Start, they're doing a lot of really good work.
Yep. And Ruo shouted out another great organization, Fair Wisconsin, which informs people of anti-trans legislation, prints out thousands of email testimonies, and delivers them to public hearings. So they're doing the good work.
I love it. I love it. And we also need to give a shout out to our new neighbors. Big welcome to the squad to Keith M., Brian C., and Jane K. We are so happy to have you here. And if you want to give a shout out of your own or want to be shouted out on this podcast, you can do that by becoming a CityCast Madison neighbor. It's really the best way to support our show and the work we do. So big thank you to all of the folks who are in the neighborhood already, because there are hundreds of you and we are growing every day, and we're so thankful for that. We couldn't do this without you. I know I've said it before, but it's true. It's just the truth. So thank y'all for supporting us.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
We super appreciate it. You beautiful, you gorgeous neighbors we've got. Thank you for being here. I also am excited for the next story, which I know, Haley, you're going to bring forward. And I think it's a big example of people just loving the heck out of Madison. And take it away.
Yeah. So y'all know I moved recently, which means I've been getting rid of some stuff. I've been looking for some stuff. I have been spending a lot of time on Facebook Marketplace, which is what led us to this story. And the other day, I've been looking for a TV stand, but in my feed, I see that someone is selling an orange terrace chair for free. But let me read you the description because this is where it gets good. This is the description from the Facebook Marketplace posting. It says, quote, "No charge, no Venmo, no haggling. I'm giving away one of the iconic Wisconsin Union terrace chairs. Yes, those chairs. Bright, metal, sunburst back thrones of Midwest beer sipping and bad decisions." I love it, right? They said, the poster of this chair said, "I've had this one for years. It's a little faded, a little scuffed, like most of us who've been through Madison, but it still holds up and it still means something. And here's the deal. I don't want your money. I just want your favorite UW-Madison memory. Could be wholesome, could be messy, just be honest. Best one gets the chair." So
we got a poet, we got a storyteller, we got...
I love it. And, I will back off by saying, don't steal terrace chairs. I don't know how this person procured this terrace chair.
I think we know how they procured this chair. They may not remember how they ended up with the chair, but I think we know how that happened.
We know how they got the chair. I'm obsessed with this post. I mean, the second I saw it, I was like, this is so gold. So I don't know if you guys had to submit a memory from time in Madison, anything, like what would you bring out to win the chair?
That's a really good question. And I've got my first thought was a positive one. And then I was like, what's a really bad one? And I'm like, oops. And then I'm like, okay, back to the positive one. I'll just do one from the terrace, which was my sister, Monica Martin, was in a band called Fox. And they were at one time, kind of a small, no one knew them. And then they got this moment to play the terrace, which was a really big deal. Eventually they ended up doing a tiny desk and they actually got really popular. But their first terrace show, I was there and I was the photographer. I was recording them singing the cover of "I Just Want to Use Your Love Tonight," that song. And I could not, I was probably 19. I could not be more proud. I could not be more happy. And it was the sun was setting, the crowd was going wild. And I remember I was I danced with some kind of handsome man who was probably 24 and I thought he was, a grown person. If you're 24, that's not a dig. But it was pure magic. I could be transported there anytime. So that's my memory from the terrace.
I love it.
Mine would also be a terrace show, probably. Remember seeing the band called The Heavy, that "How You Like Me Now" song.
Oh.
How you like me now?
Yeah. Awesome. And I could tell they were where are we? Because I think they were playing a regular tour. Then they're on this rickety stage.
Yeah.
But then they were just swamped by people with so much energy. And it was such a great show. And again, just beautiful setting. And you can't beat it. So.
I love that. Oh my God.
Haley?
Now it's my turn. I asked the question. I knew it was coming for me. Oh God. I have so many great terrace memories. This one is just a cutie, wholesome one. But I remember one time they do movie screenings, in the summer. And they screened The Iron Giant. And I took a bunch of my friends to go see The Iron Giant. And we made our own little charcuterie situation and just enjoyed the movie. And it was a very wholesome evening. I also have some other terrace memories that take place, very late in the night or very early in the morning, depending on how you look at time, that are maybe a little less wholesome. But maybe this guy would take those.
Exactly.
Well, I hope he shares they share the memories that they get.
Yeah.
Are they starting a podcast?
Yeah, right.
This is a brilliant beginning of some sort of storytelling.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. The post is still live. We'll link to it in our show notes if you guys are interested in putting in your bid for this chair. And I don't know, another question, yay or nay, stealing terrace chairs, toxic Madison trait, or do we approve?
Toxic.
Oh, there's no question. Yeah. There's never a place to sit. So
That's so true. That's so true. I know I have been on record in this podcast saying I am pro stealing. I probably shouldn't have said that in the past.
But there's some exceptions.
There are some. It's mostly like big corporations. Does UW count as a big corporation?
The way they be acting.
Yeah, right. I mean, they've got $1 billion endowments. I don't know. I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one. But I think, like Rob said,
where'd you get your terrace chair, Haley?
I don't have a. You can come to my apartment. I don't have a single terrace chair in my house. They're watching you these days. Like, they're really trying to keep these things on lock because, like you said, Rob, people are running out of places to sit.
Yep.
But whether you think it's a toxic trait or not, we are having this conversation. We want to hear from you folks. What are Madison's toxic traits? We've already heard from a couple of folks who have called in to leave us a voicemail. Thank you. But I'd love to get more takes. Call us, leave a voicemail. That number is 608-318-3367. You can also email us if you don't want to talk. That's fine if you're not chatty. That email is madison@citycast.fm. So again, these can be fun. These can be weird. These can be niche. Just like Madison, fun, weird, and niche. We want to hear it all.
Yes. Read Madison for filth.
Yes,
We're throwing
please.
down.
We
All
love
right.
this city. We do it because we love it.
Yes. It was a James Baldwin quote. I love America, so I have the right to criticize her or something like that.
Sounds right.
Yeah, we have room for critiques. Throw them at us. All right, y'all. So that's the end of the roundup. Thanks for rounding up the news with me this week. Haley Sperling
Thanks, Bianca.
and Rob Thomas.
Thanks, Bianca.
That's all for today here on CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, your host. We're produced by Jade Isiri Ramos and Natalie Rivera. Haley Sperling is our executive producer. Our theme music is by Carl Christensen. Additional music by Abbas Premji, Viridian, Lex Kip, and Hip Color from Triple Scoop Music via Getty Images. Rob Thomas is our newsletter editor. Don't forget, you can always get more news delivered right to your inbox by subscribing to Madison Minutes. And hey, if you enjoyed today's show, why not share this episode with somebody who knows a good Madison toxic trait? All right, see you back here Monday morning with more news from around the city. Until then, have a good weekend.